Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. So, wait. Okay, sorry. That was not the first snap was not the best snap. But anyways, I just got done watching Everybody Hates Chris season 1 because the revival or slash reboot came out. But I do love Everybody Hates Chris. I do love Everybody Hates Chris. It takes place. It. Look, I don't know much about the 80s, although I know a lot about pop culture in the 80s. Like, there was a lot of pop culture things in the 80s, like movies, music, and I think there was a war in the 80s and the crack epidemic. But yeah, there was a lot of things going on in the 80s, okay? Although my parents grew up in the 80s because they're both Gen X. Excuse me. But all jokes aside, yeah, my parents were like 7. No. Yeah, 7. Because this takes place in 1983, which my parents were 7 or about to be 7 within that year. Or, yeah, like, no, 1982 to 1983, which they were 6 and 7, going to be 7. Or, yeah, they would like, it's funny because they would, in 1982, in fall of 1982, they were like 6 at the time. Yeah, they were 6. Because they're like, they're basically 20 years older than me. Basically, because. Anyways, besides the point. Besides the point. Middle school. Oh man. I don't know if he. Look, I like Chris Rock. I love Chris Rock. Chris Rock is hilarious. I've seen a good majority of his movies. A good majority of his movies. And this came out about 17 years before the slap. So, I would love to. If we do get a second season of Everybody Still Hates Chris, I kind of want to see or hear the narration of Chris Rock, putting that in there. But yeah, this was right around the time he was filming Death at a Funeral, I think. Yeah, Death at a Funeral. And I think I still love My Wife, which I love that movie. That is a good movie. But yeah, middle school takes place during 7th grade through 10th grade. Got a nice 4-year gap there, 4-year time frame. And look, I wasn't the coolest kid, but I wasn't the unpopular kid. I was somewhere in the middle, mostly. Also, I do know what it's like to look. I understand. I in the show, his the guy, the person who played younger Chris Rock, got his clothes stolen. I know what that's like. I know what that's like. That it's not a great feeling. It's one, embarrassing. Two, it's just it's a bunch of craziness. But if you've ever gone to middle school, I feel your pain. If you are in middle school, I still feel your pain. I know what it's like. Middle school is a weird place in time, point in time. You're still you're still growing, you're still trying to figure out what you want to be, what you want to do. Still trying to figure out yourself. And you got puberty. I was small and short. I don't think I hit puberty until like 8th grade. I was like 4 feet till like 8th grade, and I just shot out like I just sprouted like I was a mini weed in a field. That's a bad analogy. That is a terrible analogy. But yeah. Also, I was kind of popular, but not too popular. So I got into a lot of fights. But don't get into fights. That's bad. Well, not too bad, but anyways, good show. Love it. And Chris Rock is great. Also, it does bring me back to that nostalgic feeling. Also, although I was 9 when it first aired, so makes sense. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys so far for right now. Please like, share, subscribe, and have a good day. Thanks. Catch you guys on the flip side. If I subscribe, can I get a cookie? No cookie.